afternoon, class. You are warmly welcome. My name is Mr. Benson Harold. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Dar es Salaam, specializing in teaching geography and history. Today, I'm going to share with you some concepts concerning a topic which is named as water mass. There is a thing that I need to share with you this time, and that thing is I usually used to live in physical geography, because the physical geography is the environment and is the life which made me to stand up at this day and share with you what I have. Therefore, pay attention to recent different concepts concerning the water mass and its specific hints in general. Therefore, our topic is named as water mass. But before I proceed to explain what is the meaning of water mass and what are the specific hints concerning with the water mass, I need to give you some introduction. I need to give you some hints concerning my personal life. I used to teach this subject since I was at university. I volunteered in different schools. Among the schools that I have volunteered during my studies, it was Benjamin William Kappa High School found in Dar es Salaam at Kariakoo. Not only that, but also I used as a volunteer teacher at Jangwani Girls Secondary School. For more contact, you may find me via a mobile phone, and my numbers are as follows: 0719478245. Thank you, and let's proceed with the lesson. Water mass, in general, it refers the water bodies. Water mass, in general, it refers all sources of water that found in the Earth's surface. And when you hear the word water mass, it involves all sources of water in the planet Earth, specifically in the area which is called the hydrosphere. We should not be confused with the term water mass, because it is the general term and is a complex term. When I say water mass, it refers to all water bodies, including those found over the surface and those waters that are found into the Earth's surface. I mean that there is a layer which is external layer of the Earth named as hydrosphere, and we know that hydrosphere as among of the external layer of the Earth, it is made up of 75% with water bodies. So the 75% of the hydrosphere is composed with the water bodies. In other words, I can say 75% of the planet Earth is covered with water bodies, including underground water, including the water found in different sources such as lakes, are you together, students? Such as oceans and rivers. But the main source of those waters that is present in under the ground, also over the surface, and the waters that are found into the atmosphere, is the result of a complex process which is called the hydrological cycle. Guys, you can't explain the water bodies, the presence of water bodies, the origin of water bodies, both under the ground and the water bodies found over the surface of the earth, without keeping in touch the issue of hydrological cycle. Because the hydrological cycle is the father of all water sources that we have today in our planet Earth. Therefore, pay attention to research the story of hydrological cycle and how are the process facilitating the occurrence of different sources of water. Hydrological cycle, this is defined as an endless circulation of water from the ground surface, including underground water, oceans, lakes, and rivers, into the atmosphere, and then back into the surface of the earth in terms of different forms of precipitation. What is the whole meaning of this concept? It means that hydrological cycle is the initial point for the presence of different water bodies such as ocean, lakes, seas, and rivers, as I said before. And this complex process, it is the father of all sources of water, as I said. And in the process, it means an endless circulation. It means water starts to circulate from the ground, and then water gets into the atmosphere in terms of water vapor through the process which is called evaporation. After the water getting in the atmosphere in terms of evaporation, it reaches the point that the water condenses, the water vapor condenses, forming the clouds. After the formation of the clouds, when the temperature rises into the atmosphere due to the different circumstances, then the clouds melt and form different precipitates, including rainfalls or snowfalls. After the melting of the clouds, then water falls into the ground. Some of the waters which have been fallen over the ground surface tend to move over the surface, and the process is called surface runoff, while other water tend to infiltrate or to percolate into the ground level. Then it leads to the formation of the underground water. I think we are together, students. Isn't it? Yes. That's good. But other water, when it moves over the surface, it leads to enter in different sources, either in oceans, in lakes, and other waters tend to enter in dams, or I can say small swamps. And that process leads to the presence of water throughout the time. It leads to the circulation of water throughout the time, and that's why we have different sources of water. But there is something to note. Regardless of the hydrological cycle, you as a geographer, you should conserve the environment. You should not rely on the concept that there is a hydrological cycle, then you take it as an advantage to distract different sources of water, such as cutting trees down, such as I can say irrational use of water bodies. This will may complete the issue of hydrological cycle, and then it may lead to the desertification or drought. That is the concept. So let's here look in the processes which facilitate hydrological cycles. I will be very fast because the concept is already explained. Processes of hydrological cycle. The first process is called evaporation. Here, sometimes there is a process which is called transpiration or evapotranspiration. The second process for under the hydrological cycle is nothing but condensation. After condensation, there is other process for under hydrological cycles which is called melting. And this melting is noted in different forms, which means precipitation. So, what is evaporation? I'll be very fast. Evaporation is the process through which water or a liquid form change into vapor under the influence of high incoming solar radiation. So, whenever there is a water body such as an ocean and at the surface there is high incoming solar radiation, automatically the water molecules change into vapor. After changing into vapor, and then where there is air mass rising, the water vapor tends to rise into the upper level of the atmosphere. After rising into the upper level of atmosphere, it leads to the condensation. So the condensation is the second process. Condensation means what? The water vapor now, after getting in the atmosphere, after reaching the dew point, the point that the water vapor change into the solid state under the presence of different factors such as falling temperature, presence of aerosols, dusties, also the presence of water vapor itself. It leads to the formation of clouds, and those clouds are normally called rainy clouds. But when the atmosphere receives high heat, the formed clouds, it tends to melt. After melt, then water gets back into the ground surface in form of precipitation. So these are three processes which facilitating the hydrological cycle. Diagrammatically, it is shown as I'm going to describe on the whiteboard. So you should pay attention and look on how the diagram which represents hydrological cycle, it should appear when you counterattack a question related to this concept. So guys, let's draw together a diagram which represents hydrological cycle. This can be the ocean or any large water bodies or a lake, whatever. And this is the terrain or land surface. This is the relief. Means this is the highland areas which composed of vegetation cover. So these are trees. Also there are grasses. guys, look on the diagrams which are represented on the whiteboard. You see, here there is a large water body which is the ocean. And at the upper altitude, I mean at the space, there is a large source of heat and energy, which is the sun. When sun hits the surface, especially the surface contained with the water bodies, water tends to change into vapor, and the process is called evaporation. And then this water vapor gets into the atmosphere. But it reached the point that when this vapor gets into the atmosphere, due to the presence of dust into the atmosphere and the falling in temperature, the water vapor now cools and solidifies, then form a solid body, which is called a cloud altogether. But this cloud, it reached the point that the temperature in the atmosphere also rises. After the temperature rising, the cloud melts, and then water tends to fall back into the ground water level. But when water reaches the ground, some of the water tends to run over the surface and get in back into the ocean or lakes or in rivers. But other water tends to infiltrate into the ground level and forming underground water. This process completing the hydrological cycle. But at the right side of the diagram, you see there is trees. These trees also facilitate hydrological cycle because the trees, when are heated with the solar radiation, it tends to lose its water through pores or stomata, and the process is called transpiration. Then transpiration also facilitates the presence of water vapor into the atmosphere. Guys, I think the concept is understood. So allow me to move into the next session so that we can be able to complete our topic and make you very understandable concerning what I have told. So guys, I'm moving to the next session of our topic, which is called underground water. I'm interested to start with underground water because the water mass as a topic, it covers the issues concerning underground water to the much extent. But there is an issue like lakes, we should discover, we should explain in the topic. There is an issue like in oceans, but in the ocean, I will teach that subtopic in terms of independent topic, which is oceanography, because it has a lot of things to explain, though it is a man of the water body. So I'm going to teach about underground water. Underground water. Sometimes underground water it is referred as phreatic water. Also, it is referred as subterranean. All these are names which used to explain or to clarify about the underground water. So don't be surprised when you make the questions asking you about phreatic water. It means the same. It means an underground water. Don't be surprised when you make the questions with the terminology subterranean water. Also, it means underground water. So, what is underground water? Underground water it refers to the water which formed in subsurface, or you can say into the ground level. So underground water, it means those waters that found into the ground or at subsurface. When I say subsurface, I mean over the earth surface, over the soil layers. The upper surface is called an over surface or the upper surface. But when you dig several meters downward, then you meet with another layers, then which is called the subsurface. Subsurface, it means the following layer or the layer after the upper layers of the water of the essence crust. And when you meet the water found into the ground, therefore the water named as underground water. Okay. But there is something very important to note about underground water. And that issue is usually the true underground water is that water which is found in the zones of saturation. That is a very important thing to note. The true underground water is that found in the zones of saturation. I will explain in the next chapter what is the zone of saturation, but at this point, let's understand it in the way it is. So, not true that every water found under the ground is underground water, but the true underground water are those found in the zones of saturation. Then, in the next chapter, you will understand much what is the zones of saturation and how influencing or facilitating the presence of the true underground water. But at this time, I need to share with you few concepts and a short concept concerning on how water gets into the ground level. You can ask, you may ask by yourself the question that how water can be able to get into the ground surface, how water enters into the subsurface. There are two ways, guys, you should note. There are two ways through which water gets into the ground. That is a very important thing as a physical geographer, as an advanced level student to understand concerning this topic of underground water and the water mass in general. How water gets into the ground. How water gets into the ground. This is a very simple question, and the answer is usually when it rains, when there is rainfall, or when there is snowfall, the water from atmosphere after reaching the surface, it may get into the ground through two major processes. And those processes or ways are, the first way is through porous rocks. And the second way is through pervious rocks. So, what is the porous rock and what is pervious rocks? Although these are ways which facilitate the water to get into the ground. Porous rocks, it means, are the rocks which characterized by having air spaces. These are rocks with air spaces, such as sandstone. But the pervious rocks are the rocks which are characterized by having joints, or are the rocks which composed by the joints, such as a granitic kind of igneous rock, I mean a granite. So pervious rocks, these are rocks which has joints, Example, granite. Therefore, when it rains over the surface, it may reach the surface which composed with the sandstone. And when water starts to enter into the ground level or below the upper surface, I mean into the subsurface, through sandy stone, the process now is called the porous rock. Are you together? Or you can say infiltration. Are you together? We are saying the water infiltrating into the ground through what? Through porous rock. Example, sandy stone. But when water gets into the ground through pervious rocks, the process is called perforation. It means that if there is a rock characterized by having joints, then when water enters the ground level, it enters to the deep level, compared to where there is air spaces, compared to where there is sandy stone. Where there is a sandstone, just water enter into the ground, but not deep as where there is a rock which has a lot of joints, such as granite. And that's why the process is called perforation. Perforation, it means the flow of water into the ground to the deep level. While infiltration, water just enters into the ground, but not further compared as that one entering into the ground through the previous rock. So I think that the concept is understood. Is it student? Okay, allow me to proceed with the next session. I mean next part of our topic. Then students, I need to share with you concepts. My concern is to make you good in physical geography. And when you meet the questions, exams, now you can be able to counterattack well so that you can get a good mark. So don't be scared, guys. I'm here because of you. There is a factors which facilitate the occurrence of underground waters. It is not true that everywhere when you dig the ground level, you may meet with the water. It is not true. But also it is true that in other surface, when you dig into the ground level, you might meet a lot of water. And in other areas, when you dig into the ground level, you might meet the little water or low volume of water. So, what makes this variation? Why in other areas there is high amount of underground water, or there is high amount of water under the ground, and why in other areas there is no high amount of water under the ground? And the answers are very simple in the way as follows. There are factors or driving forces. I know you pay attention to hear what are these factors.